What is going on, guys? This is your boy Willie Does Wrestling back at it again with a brand new video. And I thought that since I gave my thoughts and my opinions on AEW's women's division, that I should do the same to WWE's women's division. But there's one specific thing I want to talk about today. Something that I think everyone can agree on, and it is that the WWE Women's Tag Team titles are unneeded. Like, they should be scrapped, they should be discontinued. The division no longer exists, and the same can go for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, when the titles were created in 2019, there were a few women's tag teams that you could expect to get away with the titles, right? You had the Riot Squad, you had Fire and Desire, you had the Iconics, you had the Boston Hug Connection, um, you had the Divas of Doom whenever they felt like performing. You had a decent amount of tag teams, but there were only like three or four. Um, and we all know how WWE is like with women's tag teams. They don't last. They actually never last. Let's look at the women's tag team title history. How many of those are random tag teams? Natalia and Shayna Baszler, um, Charlotte Flair and Asuka, Nikki ASH and Rhea Ripley? And what about the recent ones, which is my inspiration for making this video? Alexa Bliss and Asuka. Notice how like most of the teams that have won those championships are nobodies, right? Well, not that they're nobodies, but it's like I meant to say they're teams that I hate this little strand of hair that normally you would never expect to get along or team up together. These are just teams that WWE goes last minute on and is like, okay, this team has had the titles a long fucking time because they've never been featured. Let's let's change the titles. Well, which women's tag teams do we have, Johnny? Oh, none. We have none. Huh. Okay. Well, then let's give it to Carmella and Zelina Vega. They're doing nothing. Gives them a title reign. They can fuck off, and then they won't sign with AEW. And it's like, uh, what about NXT? What women's tag teams are in NXT? I don't know. I might get a bunch of fucking comments being like, well, NXT has this, they have this, they have this, they have this, they have this. Would you would you care if they were the champions? Like, what would they do with the titles that would be interesting? I think the only legitimate women's tag team in WWE right now is Damage Control. And they dropped the titles to Alexa Bliss and Asuka for reasons. I don't know. But this has been a criticism that people have had for the WWE women's tag team title since they were introduced. They were like, wait a minute, we barely have any teams. There's barely anyone, right? Like, there's a reason why after Sasha Banks and Naomi walked out, that the women's tag team titles didn't immediately get a tournament to crown new champions. It's because there are no other teams. Don't believe me? Let's look at the prime example, WrestleMania 38, right? This year. It was supposed to be, I think it was supposed to be Carmella and Zelina Vega versus Sasha Banks and Naomi, but they figured, wait, we have a lot of women that aren't on the card. Okay, well, we'll make two random fucking tag teams. We'll do Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. Why? Because people both think they're hot and, dress them up as Catwoman or something, give them an entrance. And then Natalia and Shayna Baszler, because why not? I mean, whatever. Um, and there's a story on a big match, right? A WrestleMania match for the women's tag team championship. No wonder why Sasha and Naomi walked out. Um, and I always fucking hate Sasha. So, like, it's one of those things. Like in 2018, the people were like, women's tag team titles. The women's evolution is good, so we want titles for the women's tag division because they remembered that women's tag team titles existed in the 80s. And then we got it, and then it's like, wow, we just realized the women's tag division sucks. Like, and whenever there's like a women's tag title change, I just laugh. Why is that, you might ask? Because they're going to do nothing with them. They're just going to walk around carrying those titles. 9 times out of 10, they'll probably try to be the number one contenders for the Raw title. Meanwhile, they're holding a women's tag title on their shoulder, almost as if it's irrelevant, being like, oh, well, I'm a women's tag champion, but, I'll go for the world title. Like, really? Like, people had such high hopes for the women's tag titles, but ever since they were created, people realized, oh shit, this was a bad idea. So, like, I think they should just scrap it. Just it won't change anything, right? Just stick with the Raw and SmackDown belts. And I know a lot of people are thinking, let's do a women's mid card title. A women's mid card title will be better than a tag title. No, it would not. Not in the slightest. Just keep the two world titles because there's nobody that can be a legitimate threat. What, you're gonna have Shotzi with that mid card title? Hmm? You're gonna have fuck, I don't fucking know. I would have used Nikki ASH as a. You're gonna have Dewdrop. You're gonna have Dewdrop as a mid card champion. Give me a break. Yeah, I don't know why they still have the women's tag titles. Um, but yeah. Anyways, that's my criticism on the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. If you like it, if you like the video, be sure to subscribe, turn post notifications on, do whatever it is you do. I love the support as always. And until then,